Congratulations on being selected for the Human Preservation Project. Your shelter is currently under construction and should be ready within the next 2 weeks. This basic tutorial will cover your role in the project and best practices to keep you and your shelter safe from interdimensional mimetic anomalous species, IMAS-01, or commonly referred to as echoes. Let's start with what is likely your first question. What is your shelter? Simply put, it is a pre-non-terrestrial event, family dwelling that has been located in an area with low IMAS activity. Shelter procurement crews are dispatched to stock the dwelling with emergency rations, a water filtration system, photovoltaic panels, a wind turbine, and adequate spare parts to make field repairs. Once the transportation of key resources is completed, the final step is to reinforce the dwelling with hardened doors, replace existing windows with steel panels, and install a hatch for roof access to the dwelling. It may become necessary in the future to make repairs to the panels, wind turbine, or collect rainwater in the event of well depletion. The shelter will be stocked with enough provisions to last
22 years.
We believe that the IMAS will eventually relocate to a new dimension when their primary food source becomes scarce. According to our best estimates,
1%
of the human population is expected to survive past 20 years. This will give you and your shelter mates the greatest likelihood of surviving this event and restarting civilization once the IMAS has left Earth. Now let's talk about shelter security. The biggest threat to the safety of you and your shelter mates is an IMAS gaining access to your shelter. Although they have many anomalous properties and are immune to most conventional methods of warfare, they do not possess supernatural strength. This means that if they discover there are people inside the shelter, they will not be able to tear down the walls or door. Instead, they will rely on mimicry and deception to persuade someone inside to let them into the shelter.
Open the door. I need to see you, my little flea. Yes, Tom. Open the door. I am hurt. Open the door.
Anyone outside is not human and therefore not allowed in the shelter. Anything said by an entity outside of the shelter is a lie. Anyone who leaves the shelter is already deceased. Most people are aware that IMAS, or echoes, look like normal people. However, there are rumors that a password or way to test if an individual is in fact human exist. Currently, there are no reliable methods to definitively conclude the true identity of an individual. IMAS have an extrasensory perception that allows them to know your thoughts. You cannot trick them or test them. No matter what is said, you must not open the door. IMAS entities commonly employ the following methods of persuasion. Although a test does not exist, it is possible to spot some features that are signs of an IMAS intrusion. Once again, it must be stressed that these should only be employed in an emergency situation. Most of these signs have to do with the anomalous temporal attributes of an IMAS. You may notice a stutter or slow down in time when an IMAS first notices your presence. Here is a video example that demonstrates this property. Once again, this is not a reliable test to definitively determine an entity's identity. They do not consistently show these traits. However, here are examples that may be exhibited by an IMAS entity. Interference with electronics. Sounds from footsteps or movement are heard slightly before a foot hits the ground or the movement is completed. Difficulty understanding simple concepts that deal with time, passage of time, duration of time. Now that we have covered the project, your shelter, and shelter security, let's turn to a commonly overlooked but equally important subject: maintaining shelter cleanliness. First, we need to talk about
PDI doesn't know that I included this, but I felt like someone needed to tell you the truth. Here's the long and short of it that they won't tell you. All of this is just one big guess, Hail Mary, shot in the dark, whatever you want to call it. They know almost everyone on Earth is going to die, and they figure spreading people out is the best bet. I actually can't blame them. Sounds like kind of a good idea. The thing is, we don't actually know how the echoes got here or what they want. We aren't even sure those things consume people for food. For all we know, they do it for the thrill of it. The echoes may be here for 2 years or 200 years. The simple truth is we just don't know. The Human Preservation Project is our best move in a game that we're already losing. It just seemed wrong to send you out without actually explaining what's going on. I hope the PDI's right, that those things will eventually move on, but we simply don't know that for sure. Hey, well, good luck out there. The whole human race, or at least what's left of it, is rooting for you.
That should cover the basics. Once again, congratulations on your selection for the Human Preservation Project. Please remain attentive for further instructions.